welcome to our next webinar by Hospitality Insights. My name is Nijat. I will be your host today. We're going to talk about time management. This webinar was requested by the students of the Emirates Academy of Hospitality Management in Dubai. Some of you could be students from it. Some of you could hear our webinar also from the social media as well. Uh, just for you to know that this webinar is live on Facebook as well. If you will have any difficulties in terms of the chat, any technical issues, please put your thoughts and comments in the chat box, which in the end we will talk about. And our Q&A will be in the end. So hopefully my camera and my mic is well. If anybody have some difficulty, cannot hear me, please do let me know if everything is okay. Perfect. So we're going to start, and we're going to talk about one of the interesting topic and one of my personally interesting skills. The time management is a skills for me. It's not a knowledge. I do hope that you will be very careful listening of this course today. And if you will need any um, marking or something, you could use your paper and pen, or if you're over the computer, you can hear it as well. So let's start. Few housekeeping notes. So this session is going to be recorded. Duration will be within a 1 hour, 1 hour and a half. Any technical issues, please use the chat box. Question, inquiries, again in the chat box. Kindly to put your mute and videos off. We are also live in the social media. Please do not forget to subscribe to our social media channels as well. So let's start our webinar. I would like to put some few quotes related to the time management, and by far I do believe that you also have heard many of these quotes also. So time is slow when you wait, time is fast when you're late, time is deadly when you're sad, time is short when you're happy. So anything, wherever you will turn around, you will blame or you will be happy, it's because of the time. So even there's a quote which Michael Altshuler said, the bad news is that time flies, but the good news is that you are the pilot. It's up to us to manage our time. It's up to us to know what the time is and use it effectively. So your greatest resource is your time in your life, and you need to understand it. The resource is not the money, resource is not the wealth, resource is not a job. I'm not saying it's not necessary, but it's not the main resource. Your main resource is the time. Your time is very important in your life and very urgent is in your life. So why it's urgent, why it's needed, it's because to have a goal. Every single person have a goal in their life, and this goal um, related to the different our desires, different our accomplishment. A goal without a plan, if you don't have a plan how to reach your goal, it's just a wish, is nothing more. We will do a small test, and for you to a little bit think about it and a little bit go deep in this meaning. So let's imagine that 1 second in your life, of your life, including my life as well, is equals to 1 dirham. For different currencies, you could use for the different numbers, like a $1 or something. I think that 1 second of the person's life is priceless, but for the sake of this case, we will use it for you to be in deep dive understanding. So let's imagine that 1 second of your life is equals to 1 dirham. And in this 1 dirham, we will know that this is your bank account. And imagine that there is a bank that the credit your account on each morning, every time when you're waking up, is deposited by 86,400 dirham. That's approximately with the dollar, something like a 23, $22,000. So it carries over your no balance from day to day, and every evening deletes whatever part of the balance you failed using during the day. What would you do? So you woke up, you have seen a message, a notification from the bank that you have 86,400, and every single time when you're going into this bank account, you see that it's getting lesser, lesser, and lesser. So what would you do? What would you do to um, not to fail in this matter? So each of us has such a bank. This bank calls a time. If you will take 86,400 seconds, which equals to the dirham as well, dirham value, you will know that we do have 24 hours, and 24 hours equals to 86,400 seconds. Every single second, every morning that when you invest, it's becoming zero by end of the day. So every single day when you wake up, you have a new account and you have a new opportunity. So if you fail to use the day's deposit, the loss is yours. So what does that mean? What is this all meaning? The meaning is that, and of course, there is no going tomorrow. You have to live by today. You need to invest by today. So the investment have to come from your health, from your happiness, and from your success. We spoke about the goals and successes. So what would we do? I would love to hear your thoughts about it in order to understand. If you will know that you do have a 24 hours for today, we don't have the guarantee also that we will leave for tomorrow as well. So what will you do in order to set your day properly and um, progressively? I would love to hear some thoughts in your chats. Please kindly be active and interactive. No thoughts? I would try to use 86,000 and make investment where I get return in the future. Nice code. Nice code from Aditi, if I pronounced it right. It is true. We need to understand the value of ours each second of our life in order to invest it in properly, in order to use it properly. This is correct code. We work, we do, we plan, we eat, we wake up during the day. We are hoping and we're setting some goals for tomorrow, obviously, even after a week, months, or year. But we are living for today. So every single of us have to understand that the day how we are proportionally um, splitting, we're going to talk about how we're going to split. We have to invest it properly. So I would love to go on our next slide. I do hope that you had seen this video on YouTube that caused a valuable lesson. Uh, if not, I would love to show it to you. I hope it will be you will be able to hear it. Can you see it?
Good afternoon, everyone. We all have this one life to live. A fleeting shadow amongst all that exists in this vast universe. We have the ability to accomplish anything, truly anything, if we use our time wisely. Is this jar full?
Yes.
And is it full now?
Yes.
And how about now? Is the jar full now?
Yes.
Yeah, it is. Now, I want you to recognize that this jar represents your life. The golf balls are the important things, your family, your friends, your health, and your passions. The pebbles are the other important things, your car, your job, your home. The sand is everything else, it's just the small stuff. Now, if you put the sand into the jar first, you won't have room for the pebbles or the golf balls. And the same is true in life. If you spend all your energy and your time on the small stuff, you won't have time for all the really important things that matter to you. Pay attention to the things that are critical to your happiness. Take care of the golf balls first, the really important things. Set your priorities, because everything else is, it's just sand. Yes?
Professor, what does the beer represent?
I'm glad you asked. It goes to show that no matter how full your life may seem to be, there's always room for a couple of beers with a friend.
I do hope that you had seen the video and you heard it. If not, I can drop you the YouTube. You could link on the YouTube so you could watch it later also. This is very valuable lesson uh, because we need to learn uh, how uh, how we should prioritize and what we should do in order to set our priorities. The professor had spoke about the priorities a lot. So setting the priorities in our life is very important. Like I said, these priorities have to be very clear. You have to know your objectives. You have to know what is your goals, how to organize these goals, how to invest your time properly to your work, to your family, to your health, some spiritual elements in your life, to your friends, to your relatives. So there is a lot of personal and professional components that we need to make sure that we're investing and we are managing our time properly. If we don't, now what's going to happen? Obviously, we are having a barriers. These barriers is creating unclear objectives. So we don't know what we are doing and how we are doing. We have a disorganization. So we have so many things um, had been lifted over and over again. So it's a mess. You don't know how to organize. Inability to say no. So imagine that you're every single time you're doing some task, and just because you don't say no, they are giving you new tasks more and more and more, and that's creating the barriers of your time. It could be some other examples like interruptions, um, inactivity, or too many things at once time. These all creating the barriers in your life. You need to manage it properly. So how are we going to do it? We're going to make a goal setting and the time management. What's the goal setting? Goal setting is the critical to effective of the time management strategy. So this single most important life skill that unfortunately most people never learn how to do it properly. And goal setting can be used in every single area of your life, like I said it before: financially, physically, personally, development, relationship, or even spiritual. According to the Brian Tracy's book, which called Goals, fewer than the 3% of the people have a clear written goal and a plan for the getting there. Setting the goal puts you ahead of the pack. So imagine that you do have a goal in your life. Let's say for nowadays, it's finding a job, and you need to clear your mind, and you need to write it in piece of paper. How are you going to get to this goal? What you could do a mini small plans in order to achieve to that goal. It may not achieve to that goal. What would you do? Are you going to start to do something on your own? Finding the job, obviously, is our um, priority in our life. But if you're not going to find the job, it doesn't mean that you need to be depressed or stressed. You need to make sure that you do have some alternatives. And again, set your goal correctly, set your time correctly. You always have to set your goal and your time, even if you fail. So failing, it doesn't mean that you didn't achieve your goal. Maybe your goal wasn't clear, like I said before, your objectives. Maybe your goal and your uh, progress in your life is in the different goal, is in the different objectives. So please make sure that setting your goal, putting ahead, is always an important, and how to achieve to that is always important too. We will use some formulas. Probably you had heard about it before. Something called SMART, SMART, which means a specific, a measurable, achievable, realistic, and the time bounded. Any goal in your life that you are setting, it have to be very specific. You need to make sure that this goal is measurable. So you will know where you are standing right now. It have to be achievable. So it's not that you want to go to the Mars. No, it have to be something that you will know that you can able to do. It have to be realistic as well, and it have to be within the time, which means the time bounded. This is a formula called SMART. Obviously, I don't want to go into the details. However, I will give you some few points related to the SMART formula. SMART is always represent about the defining and establishing the specific goals and objectives for the review and period, linked to your organizational objectives, linked to your performance criteria. So imagine that you are working somewhere. You need to have a clear objectives in your life. You need to know what you should do. You need to organize yourself. You need to show performance, how to achieve this performance. Is this performance is within the time? Is this performance can be achieved or cannot be achieved? Is it realistically you can achieve within the set time goal? So please always remember that setting the goal is the one accomplishment. How to achieve and go towards to it is another accomplishment. So let's make it smart. How we can make it smart? Imagine you're working in hotel, and um how you can set your goal in order to be specific, measurable, attainable, relevant, and in time based. So let's say that we will increase a walk-in revenue. Those who knows in the reception, the terminology calls walk-in revenue. Those who are coming in and asking for the room. How you going to do it? How you will set your objective? How you will be specific and you will measure it? Or for those who's working in F&B, they will know it better that there will be a new goal for you. Increase a 20 dirham per F&B check. How are you going to do it? You need to set your goal again. You need to know how you're going to do it, what it will take you to achieve to it. It's not an easy task as well. For those who are in finance and in HR, may know about this formula also about reducing the 10% of the payroll cost. Uh, Payroll cost not necessarily means that cutting someone's salary. Payroll cost could be reduced by the different elements as well. So this could be another goal, another task in your life. Obtaining a five-star rating from the DTCM. Every single year, uh, hotel is going under the licensing process. And in order to provide the five-star services and facilities, you need to make sure that it's sustaining the same facility. If not, you will lose your star, which will be a four-star. Sustaining is another topic, which we're going to talk in the next slides. This could be another goal in your life. Like I said, every single of us in our work could have a different goals, and these goals is related to our objectives. These objectives related to our performance, and this performance is measuring in the end of the year. So all of them is linked to each other, and in order to achieve it, we need to start prioritizing what we have to do and how we have to do. We need to see the goal itself. We need to visualize it. We need to make sure that uh, what we have to do first, second, third. Uh, just a simple picture, you would see that you need to know how to prioritize your goal, and you need to visualize it. These two elements is very important. Um we could say that there is a new hotel is opening. It's still not had been opened. It's under the opening. We need to know what we should do in order to open it. We need to visualize it. Every single department need to be active. Every single person need to be trained. They need to know what should they should do. They need to train in it over and over and again. They need to know what is important in the restaurant. For example, cutleries, how many cutleries should be, if uniform is available, if the room is ready, if the towels and everything is ready. So for this, you need to set your goals. Sometimes this goals is misleading us. Sometimes uh, um, too many things is confusing us. So that's why we need to prioritize what it have to come first, the second and third. We'll talk about the prioritize right now. Prioritizing your time, again, it's more about ourselves. How we going to prioritize our time, our own time. It's not about your friends or your colleague or someone else. It's more about you. So time management is more about that the just managing our time. It's about managing ourselves. Uh, for example, in the morning we're waking up already. We do have some clear pattern of our time. What we're going to do today. So we know that we will go for a work from 9 to 6. Let's say we'll have a lunch break. We will have some tea time, coffee time. We will able to um, after the work, we were able to come back to the home, spend the time in the personal life. For those who have a family, for the family, If not, you will go for a friends and etc. It's about the setting priorities in your taking charge. What is your priority in your life? Some people, they want to go back home and do nothing. They want to relax. Some people wants to go outside, be socialized with their friends. Some people have some activities in their life that they want to do. Uh, but you need to know that as we're getting older, our priorities are changing and our activities are changing. So that's why changing our habits or activity that cause us a waste of time. For example, me being in 20 or 25 years old, I had a different priorities in my life. That doesn't mean that when I'm 34 years old right now, it have to be the same. No, every single year, my priorities are changing, my habits are changing, my activities are changing. If I will not do so, then it may cost my wastage of my time. So that's why I'm always trying to keep what is the priority in my life. Like I said, for some people, priority are the family. Some people, priority are the work. For some people, priority are the health. All of these are important. It doesn't mean that one you should prioritize, the other you should not. No, you should make sure that you will set your time, proportionate of your time correctly, and give the right for every single component of it. It means the being willing to experiment with the different methods and ideas to enable you to find the best way to make maximum use of time. What does it mean? It's mean that in a daytime, as I said, you have 86,400 seconds. You have 24 hours. You can know what you're going to do, how you're going to do, uh, for who you're going to spend the time, and why. By prioritizing it, you will get an effective person. You will change yourself and you will be an effective person. You will be somehow they're calling punctual person. Punctuality is very important in the life as well. Um, in order to do that, there are some few formulas also working out. I want to show it to you. Maybe you had heard about it, the 80-20 rule. The 80-20 rule also knows about the Paretos Principle. It states that the 80% of your result come out from the 20% of your action. So you do 20% work in your life, in your day, and you see the 80% of result. Across the board, you will find that 80-20 principles is pretty much right on with the most of the things in your life. Not everything, most of the things. For most people, it really comes down to analyze what you are spending on your time. Are you focusing 20% of your activities that produce 80% of the result in your life? So, how you are putting your activities in a day. For example, today, let's call it a Friday, and in GCC, it's the weekend time. In the weekend, what do you do? Are you spending time at work? Are you spending your time with the family for your health? Are you trying to clear out your mind? Uh, do you plan for tomorrow? Do you do something to relax, or you just living as it is? Whatever it will happen, it will happen. So make sure that you are prioritizing it for yourself also. Having too much work or having too much family is not going to give a balance in your life. You need to prioritize your health, for example. Health is very important also in the life. Spiritual elements are very important in the life. You cannot ignore one or another. You need to make sure all of them are in the balanced way. Uh, when you're balancing, always remember that there is something called urgent and important metrics. I will show it to you in a while. So great time management means being effective as well as efficiency. Managing the time effectively and achieving the things that you want to achieve means spending your time on things that are important and not just urgent. Remember, you could have a several tasks at the one time, but it doesn't mean that they are urgent. No, you just need to set out what is the important one, and the rest you could manage it properly afterwards. Important, these are the activities that the lead achieving to your goal. These are the important. And urgent is the activities demand immediate attention. So there is a difference between the demanding immediate attention and there is a goal. What is important for you, attention or the goal? So obviously you want to achieve to your goal because a goal is measurable and the goal is related to your performance, and the performance in the end of the day is something you're delivering in the end of the day or the month or the year. This concept coined the A. Principle is said to be how former US President organized his task. It was rediscovered and brought into the mainstream and as the urgent slash important. So imagine a person like a president have so many things to do, and he have more than thousand things, more than thousand papers, documents on his desk. You need to prioritize which of them are the urgent and which of them are important. Obviously, if he wants to show a performance, he will do something which is important, not urgent. And then later on, when he will finish those important elements, he will go for the urgents. These are the metrics for you just to visualize it, that there is a number one, number two, three, and four columns, where in number one, you could see on the top, it's mentioned important and urgent. This is crisis. This is about the demanding necessity, daily, I don't know, firefighting, to be quick to delegate. Uh, in the quantum two, in the column number two, you will see it's more about the strategy and the value. It's important, but it's not urgent. So it's more about how you will make the planning, how you will make the budgeting strategies. These are very important, but not urgent. We will go for the third column. It's more about avoiding. It's busy work. So it's urgent. Every single time it's urgent. You're sitting in the office or you're sitting at home. Someone is calling you or someone is giving you a task. It's very urgent. You need to do A, B, C, D, E. But reality, it's not that important. It's urgent for them, not for you. And it's creating interruption in your head. So be careful about the number three column. Number four, it's more about the limit. So it's not important and not urgent. Those who are, sometimes I'm calling, especially in our young generation, they're spending much time in the Facebook or in the social media. It's not important and not urgent. They're just wasting their time. Let me look what happened in the Facebook. Let me look what happened in the Instagram, Snapchat, or something else. So those are wastage of your time, and pretty much you're not gaining anything. It doesn't mean that you should not talk with your friends or your family or something through this social media. Social media is just a tool. Like I said in the beginning, the time is flying, but you are the pilot of this time. You need to make sure that you are managing it wisely. If it's not necessary, don't just open, just ignore it. Planning wisely is very important. The hallmark of the success of the time management is being consistency, productive each day. When I mean consistency, it's very important, if I may give it to you in one example. For example, when we start to work and we are focusing more in our work and family, work and family, work and family, we're forgetting about our health. And this health, by the health, we are getting fatter or getting stress, depressions. Sometimes we cannot able to sleep in the night. Hence, we are losing it. So, uh, being healthy is also consistency. If you will leave it one day, you are not going to be healthy. You will lose the consistency. So planning wisely your productivity on each day, especially related to the health. Many people use the daily plan to motivate themselves. Few example of my experience in my life. I'm normally planning myself a week ahead. So when Thursday is the end of the day here in GCC, I know already next week what is going to happen. And I'm planning it, even if it's a personal, either it's a professional, either it's related to my health or spiritual. I know what I'm going to do and how I'm going to do. This is weekly planning. I do have a long-term planning, like a study, like developing myself. um, right now, I'm actually giving the courses to you. For me, it's important. It's not urgent, but it's very important for me. So these are motivating you every day. If you will plan yourself since you're waking up until you will sleep, you need to make sure that your work, your family, your health, your spirit will be in this day. Maybe you could use 5% or 10%. The ratio is dependent on you, but it's more related to how you're going to manage it. It's up to you. Having daily plan and committing to it can help you to stay focused and prioritize of the particular day. You are more likely to get things accomplished if you write down your plans for the day. Not necessary to write it down with the pen and paper. It could be in your calendar in your of your phone as well. You may know tomorrow what you're going to do, how you're going to do, and simply simply you can prioritize it them. I want to talk to you about the procrastination. It means the delaying the task, that it should be prioritized. Imagine someone gave you a task to do, and you see that it's bigger, it's not as you thought, you need the help, and that causes you to delay of this given task. By delaying it, obviously creating a lot of negativity. Um, the ability to overcome procrastination and tackle the important actions that have the biggest positive impact in your life is the hallmark of the most successful people out there. So try to make sure that you do know uh, when you take it, how to do it, uh, why you're doing it. Is it important? Is it urgent? Can you do it alone? Do you need a help? Do you need different resources? Is it achievable? Is it something realistic to do? And always don't forget about the time. If they're telling you to do it within the 24 hours or I need it tomorrow, uh, try to speak truth. Say that it's not going to happen for tomorrow. I have something important to do. Try to always say no. It's very strong, powerful word to say no. As I cannot do it at the moment, I can do it within a week. So by this way, a person in front of you will understand that you do have the priorities and you're a very punctual person. Even they may not like it. So why we procrastinated it? So no clear deadlines, as I said, inadequate resources, don't know where to begin, task feels overwhelming you, no passion to do it, fear of failure. This is very common elements that we could see if a task is not handled with a given time frame. These are the some few examples out of it. So what you should do in this case is you should use 80-20 rule that can be achieved it, or you can delegate it. Delegating it, it's a very big step in the people's life. I had seen a lot of people who are struggling with the delegating it. They think that they can do themselves. They are confident. They are very obvious that it's very easy to do. However, you need to understand that not everything human can do alone. It will be better to delegate it and delegated it with the right people, trustable people, accountable people that will not make you fail. Doing it now, sometimes we are giving a task and it's a half an hour job, for example. Uh, when you're not doing it, you think that I could do it within a half an hour, and it's giving you stress for the later stages. And imagine that you're an active person in your life. This type of task could be 10 or 100. So make sure that when you have a task, you're doing it immediately, as soon as possible. If obviously it is the important task. Uh, if you will not do it, you will feel very stressed. You will feel it very uncomfortable. It may reflect your performance as well. So do it early as you can. There are some other productivity elements that you could do. Um, you need to make sure that in given any task, you should able to analyze it properly. You should know what is the direct and the indirect causes, what will happen next, uh, what event will impact you. It may take out of your time not 1 hour, maybe 5 hours. So your day will be gone and you will waste your time. Make sure that you will do every day proportionate of it. And don't forget that you need to plan. You need to plan to make sure that you have an efficiency. If you have an efficiency, you increase your productivity. And if you have a productivity, you will be successful. These are very important. Tasks cannot be done within a day or within an hour. Just make sure that you will keep following it and you will achieve it. Maybe you cannot achieve it alone. You could do it with your friends or with your family, or you could see another resources, take another tools, which is possible as well. Another thing that I want to talk about with you is the organizing your workspace. This is the managing workflow that very common. Maybe you could heard it. You can do it, you can delete it, you can defer it, or you can delegate it. Obviously these words no need to explain, you know it by itself. So don't forget to either to do it, either not to do it, either defer it, either delegate it. In the end of the day, you need to manage it. You need to manage it properly, effectively. Delegating made easy. This is the question. Like I said before, majority of the people, they don't know how to delegate. They don't know that how I can accomplish my task by delegating it. Some people or some civilization think that delegating is the weakness. I don't agree personally with that. Delegating makes a person's life easier and effective, and it makes productive in the same time. Setting the ritual, or you could say some habits in your life. These are the something that you could do on day to day, like during the break, at work or at home. Read for 10 minutes of any book or anything that would be important for you. Take 1 minute to do some deep breath or stretching out. Take a 5 minute to clean off your desk or some small area, wherever you are sitting. Take a 10 minute of update on the personal productivity journal. Personal productivity journal is your personal development plan, in a way that you could know what you should learn, what kind of knowledge you should learn, or what kind of skills you need to learn. Constantly learning is very productive things. It could be anything that you can learn, not necessarily related to your own field. You could learn anything. Just take some few minutes to know about it. Set aside a lunch for a week to do a personal errands, or make a list of the beginning of each week to do one day. For example, you could know. I remember there was a family related to this factor I want to say. I remember there was a family of the doctor. There was a friend of mine, this family. His father used to plan every day in a week in advance what he's going to eat in the lunch, in the dinner, and in the breakfast. He set this rule, this habit, this ritual in his house. So I remember that every Friday, because Friday was the off day, and from time to time they were inviting me also. Every Friday they were eating fish, and you could not find any other, let's say, food in there. And when I was asking him that, why are you doing it? He says that your body needs a fish, a meat, a chicken, a vegetable, and everything related to that. For example, there was a day when he was having a full vegetable day or a fish day or a meat day. I didn't understand it in that time. It was during my young ages. But a few years after, I understood that he wants to make sure that he's planning it accordingly. So his body, his health, and his mind will be in balance. This is the one of the important things also in your life. Uh, this management, it calls meeting management. For those who is working, and we're having a meeting from time to time, and we had faced it many times that when we're going to the meeting, it's not necessary for us or it's not related to us. Um, we don't know what's going to happen. They're just simply requesting you to come. That's it. But why I'm going there, why I'm needed it there, what is going to be, is it important for me? Nobody knows it. In order not to waste your time, you need to make sure that what is the agenda. Agenda, you will know that what is going to be talked about there, how long they're going to talk about it, and if this could be important for you, or as a knowledge, as a skills, or is it important for you in terms of the work that you will learn something. Please make sure that those who are working, your meetings are even managed in that framework, and you will know what to discuss and how to discuss in order to be effective. Some couple of tools I want to talk to you about. Excuse me. Some of us could use these tools, is a note in the Microsoft or the calendar in our phone, task list, daily task list, or the custom tools that you can able to plan it. And again, in the end of the day, please don't forget the objectives in your life are very important. Plan and prioritize each day activities in more efficient and productive manner. Overcome the procrastination quickly. Handle crisis effectively and quickly. Organize your workspace workflow to make a better use of your time. Delegate it more effectively. Please learn how to do the delegation. Use ritual or habits to make your life run smoother, and plan meetings more appropriately and effectively. To wrap up, I want to give some couple of quotes from the important people. You may know about them, uh, the journey that they had learned in their life. For example, Harvey Mackay, he had talked about the time in this way. Time is free, but it is priceless. It is true. Your every single of our prices, time is our priceless. You cannot own it, but you can use it. You cannot keep it, but you can spend it. Once you have lost it, you can never get it back. It's very important word if you will understand every single word and the value what he's trying to mean. Napoleon had said that take time to deliberate, but when the time for the action arrives, stop thinking, just do it, just go. Steve Jobs said, your time is limited, so don't waste it living someone else's life. I had seen if, many of the people that they're living someone else's life. They're not living their own life. They don't know what their time is, their goal is, their strategy is, their accomplishment is. And that's, like I said, it shows in the study that the 2% of our living people, they don't know what's their goal in their life. And Benjamin Franklin said that you may delay, but the time will not delay you. Again, in the end of the day, I would love to thank for everyone who are online and later on would see it on the YouTube as well. thank you for having um, uh, here today. And I will be very happy if you have any questions related to this topic. If you have any other questions, you can send it through the email or subscribe to our social media: Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, and the YouTube channel. If you have any questions, I'll be happy to hear it. No? No questions? Thank you very much. Again, thank you for having this, for having being here and listening to this. Again, I would love to inform that webinar by the Hospitality Insights are happening every Friday on the for the international webinars. Please do not forget to subscribe in order to get the notification. If you don't have any other questions, thank you very much and have a lovely day. Good night.